Hi there, it's Carol Doherty. Today is Tuesday, so this is my Tuesday tip for this week. I want to talk a little bit about delegating or handing off tasks at work. And the reason why this is so important, so many people are overwhelmed. We're busy. We need to be able to hand over some things that are on our plate so that we can focus on the critical items. And there's a great quote that I saw from Richard Branson, and it says that from a young age, I learned to focus on the things I was good at and delegate to others what I was not good at. That's how Virgin is run. Fantastic people throughout the Virgin Group run our businesses, allowing me to think critically and strategically. Now, wouldn't that be nice if we could stop and think about what we're doing on a more strategic perspective and step back and let other people do some of the other work? I know that at times throughout my career, that's been absolutely vital for me to get everything done. When I was first kind of heading up some of the training activities at one of the construction companies I worked for, I had there's a training coordinator, there was an admin, and I could hand things off to them dealing with some of the day-to-day stuff and let me focus on where did we need to go? What was the direction? What were the needs? Go out and do needs assessments, go talk to people, what was needed, and then help create that content. And they dealt with the day-to-day, getting all the materials together, doing the scheduling, all of that stuff. Yes, I could do it. Yes, I did do it on more than one occasion, but I needed to be able to do higher level stuff. I was the person there to help create content and help lead training sessions. That's not their role. So I needed to use them, and I had to get better about delegating, handing things over to them. And I screwed it up more than once, I'll be honest. A couple of times I would give something to Katie and say, hey, can you go take care of this? She was pretty new to the group, new to what we were doing, willing, capable, excited to learn. But I would think, I would mistake her willingness to help as that she knew what I wanted. And so I'd hand stuff off to her and I'd check back in and say, how's it going? And she wouldn't have made any progress. And I'd be like, why not? We had some fits and starts, and she finally looked at me and said, I can't read your mind. And what was going on was I had all this stuff up in my head on where files were, where information was, what we needed to do to put all of this together. But I hadn't really done a good job of telling her. Well, that didn't work. So I had to really learn that while she was highly capable, she needed information. So what I discovered, kind of through trial and error, was that I had to pay attention to who was getting the work, what I was giving them, and did I give them the right timeline? Something I could do in 15 minutes could take Katie 45 because she's having to look up where is the information, what's there, where's I know where it is because I put it there. So it's easy for me to find. It wasn't that she was doing a bad job. She just needed to learn. So me handing the task off to her was great. And it helped her grow. It helped her learn. It helped her actually advance in a role because she was being able to take stuff on. But I had to make sure I gave her everything she needed. And then I needed to be able to follow up properly to make sure it was working for her, that she was getting the information she needed and was getting it done. And if she had questions, she got them answered. Now, following up is where a lot of managers and a lot of people, even when you're asking a peer to help out, go terribly wrong. This is where delegation goes off the rails. And what I mean by that is we all know about micromanagers, right? The people who want to know every step you're taking and they want to approve every little thing you do. When you're delegating, you don't want to become that micromanager. I had one boss John, who had done the job I was in, knew it really well. He'd been promoted to manager. And so he wanted to check every single step I took. He wanted to approve every little action, every little thing. Well, I didn't get to learn how to make decisions, find my own solutions, use my own creative thinking, my own perspective, because he was controlling everything. So, a coworker, there were two of us at the same level, we figured out ways to get around this because it was driving both of us insane. And so we started just going and doing and then reporting back. Fortunately, John took that fairly well from the two of us. He didn't take it well from other people. He did take it well from us because we could say, here's what we did and here's why. And there was good logic, there was good reason, and our internal customers were happy with what the service they were getting. He couldn't complain. He didn't always like it, but he couldn't complain because we were doing our job. So that micromanager who wants to control every single little thing you do, don't be that guy. Now, I will tell you that if you have somebody new, like when Katie was first starting with us, and I asked her to take over putting together this big binder for one of our training programs, I had to give her every step that she had to take. She was brand new. She had no idea what was going on. She didn't know where to find things. She didn't know what to do, how we were doing it. So yeah, that was a case where there was a little bit of micromanaging at first. Once she figured it out and she got a system down that worked for her, hey, I need the binders by. We're doing another session starting next Tuesday. We'll have 25 people. Can you get them ready? I didn't have to I didn't have to micromanage her. At first I did. So understand what level of follow-up you need. Then there's the other guy, the one who just abdicates everything. They come, they dump it all on your plate, and then they walk away. I had a boss like that. His name was Tom, and he abdicated all of his decision-making. He didn't want responsibility for anything. He didn't understand. He was the opposite of John. He didn't understand anything that I was doing. And so he just went, well, I trust you. Have fun. If somebody complained, he'd tell me about it. But he gave me no guidance. He gave me no support. He gave me no feedback. I once asked him, what could I be working on to be able to advance? And he said, you're doing a great job. Just keep doing it. That's not really helping me. And he would honestly, people would come to him and say, hey, Tom, we want to be doing these changes to the system control programming. What do you think? Here's what we're looking at. And he would be like, I need to get Carol. I was the materials engineer. What I know about programming, it could fit in something about that big. I mean, I understood how the system worked. And yes, it did slightly impact what I was doing. But these were his decisions, not mine. But he wouldn't make a decision unless Carol said, yeah, that's a good idea. So he was abdicating. So he would dump and run. John micromanaged, Tom dumped and run. Let's skip all that. If you want to hand off tasks at work and have it be effective and helpful, pay attention to what you're handing off. Don't give up all your authority because it's yours for a reason. Make sure you're giving it to the right person. Is it going to help them grow, learn, develop? And then make sure you're following up properly. Do you need to micromanage a little bit to help them get started? Or is it more of a situation where, hey, give me updates? And you set up a regular schedule of updates for things. So as Katie learned what she was doing, we would I would check in and say, "Hey, how's it going? Got any questions?" We would do check-ins. And then as she got totally competent, it was like, "Okay, here you go." It was fully empowering her and letting her know, though, if she had questions, she could come get me. That's what you need to do, and that's what really makes this effective if you're gonna hand it off, and handing off work helps you manage your overwhelm, and when you do it right, you can grow the people around you, and they can take on more work. Sounds like a win-win to me. They're growing, you're doing less, and the organization benefits from it. But most importantly, you have less on your plate. So learn to delegate properly and make sure you know how to hand off tasks so that you can get the most out of it. If you want to go even deeper into this, you can join me tomorrow at my midweek madness break, career growth conversations for women in STEM. And you can register at www.midweekmadnessbreak, all one word, .live. Sign up. You'll get the deets to join me. It's free. We'll talk more about how you delegate properly, and you'll get the replay and other information. Hope to see you around. Have a great day.